Reposting more proof. November 15, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. I am reposting in its entirety a report by RI, titled Congress Finds Federal Reserve Theft below. However, I want to point out that Congress only found this theft after they were forced to do so by me and by others who brought it forward for decades prior to this. The immensity of this breach of trust by the popes, the British monarchs, the members of Congress, and certain members of the U.S. military and federal civil service for the past 150 years cannot be calculated. The damage done to the American people and to many other people throughout the world cannot be calculated, either. Simply blaming the Federal Reserve is not an answer for this. The elephant in the living room has been there for a very long time, and those who discovered it repeatedly and did nothing but siphon and embezzle and benefit themselves from it must take their share of the blame, too. This takeover of, first, the American financial system and then the world financial system, did not take place in a vacuum, with nobody being the wiser. The Congress has not just found a $500 trillion embezzlement job that has been ongoing for over 100 years, and it is extremely deceitful to pretend that the organizations responsible didn't know and didn't benefit. They spent money that wasn't theirs like drunken sailors, and withheld the benefit of it from the actual owners for generations. So, sorrow is hardly the word I would use for it. Outrage, maybe. Disgust, maybe. RI must mean sorrow for all the people who paid taxes they didn't owe, mortgages they didn't owe, people who fought wars as cheap mercenaries, and didn't know it, people whose lives were made unhealthy and truncated and who went without even the basics of life because of these crimes, people who went to jail for non-existent offenses, people who were harassed and terrorized by IRS goons, people who were lied to so terribly and constantly that they no longer know what to think or who to believe. Yes, sorrow for all of them. But for the rats? For Ulysses S. Grant, for Woodrow Wilson and FDR and LBJ and Richard Nixon and a good many others? Not so much. When the dust settles, let's exhume their remains and bury them at sea. They don't deserve a place of rest among their countrymen. Read on by following the link in the video description box.